So welcome back to the Jimmy Dore Show. You know, if you want to know who the biggest victims in America today, it's the Christians, right? We all know it's
They've been through so much, Jimmy.
Yes, and especially the white male Christians. They've had such a tough go of it. Maybe someday they'll get a chance in America. See, in America, so they passed this bill in Arizona, or they did pass the bill. It didn't get signed, but see, the point is, in America, we have the freedom to worship any God we choose, and these Christians prefer the God who's totally creeped out by gay people.
Dumb luck, right?
Dumb luck, right? So, but the Christians are definitely the biggest victims. So when they see themselves as victims, that allows them to be shitty to anybody they feel like, deny anybody else rights. You don't think they're victims? You don't think they think of themselves that way? Well, let's watch this, and well, it'll change your mind.
Yesterday's Supreme Court rulings on gay marriage raise a crucial question. How should the church respond to a culture that seems increasingly hostile to Christianity and Christian principles?
From Boston to Zanzibar, there's a worldwide war on Christianity.
There is no doubt that Judeo-Christian tradition in this country is under attack.
Yes, Robert, you see, the people who've traditionally been oppressed by Christians are now trying to take away Christians' inalienable right to oppress them.
It's not right, Jimmy.
It's not right.
It's not fair.
It's only wrong if it's a Christian not doing it, right?
That's
anyway,
true, yes.
The problem is the gays and the atheists are trying to turn the United States of America into a secular country the way it was supposed to be.
Something smells fishy to me, Jimmy.
You know, this country isn't about everybody starting out on equal footing. It is about that.
The way I wrote it, it is. But
No, this country is about everybody starting out life on equal footing. From there, you're supposed to accumulate special privileges that give you power over everybody else, or what I call freedom plus.
Ask for it by name.
So these Christians, they're feeling very oppressed, right? So they're in the majority. They're an overwhelming majority in the country, but somehow they're being oppressed. They're being oppressed in the same way Rosa Parks oppressed the Selma bus line, right? They're being oppressed in, so they're not really being oppressed. So, but there's a lot of bad takes on it, right? So there's a lot of bad, like Pat Robertson. Oh, what's the...
Can I just say?
Sure, you can say.
I really think that the Christians in this country have confused the word oppression with inconvenience.
Yes.
Like, that's really what it comes down to. Like, oh, this is oppression to us, this mild inconvenience. Oh, you would have hated slavery then. That would have been really hard. That would have been incredibly inconvenient.
Yes.
Just try to go shopping.
Oh. Incredibly.
And by the way, I didn't want to oppress Christians before now, but now I do.
Now
I really do.
Me too.
I feel it. I'd like to oppress some Christians, and not, even the guys.
Even the ones in Zanzibar?
Even the ones in Zanzibar.
Where is Zanzibar anyway?
I don't know.
It's not in America.
I thought just elephants. All right, so let's go to now. We're gonna go around the horn. This is why today's show is gonna be mostly about this, is because so many people said so many different crazy things about this gay bill. They have everything backwards and upside down. Here's Glen Beck. Now,
Glen Beck got it wrong?
Glen Beck.
What?
Glen Beck got this issue wrong. Can you believe it? So, in this clip, I'm going to play some Glen Beck. It's really more of a treat than anything. I know I shouldn't pay attention to Glen Beck, but since this is a comedy show, why not have on one of the biggest clowns out there, right? So here's Glen Beck, and here's his opinion of the Arizona bill making it okay to discriminate against gays. Here's what he has to say about it.
I don't like that world where everybody is able to say, I'm not going to serve your kind, but that's that's freedom. That's freedom. Freedom is ugly.
Yeah, freedom. Freedom equals discrimination. That's how you know you're in the land of the free, when people are being discriminated against. You're like, oh, the smell of liberty. That's what that is. So that's what he's saying. Basically, he's saying that's what freedom looks like, when you have the freedom to totally discriminate against someone else in a free society. That's what he's saying. And it's ugly, by the way. It is ugly. But he goes on.
It's ugly. And so we have to look at freedom in the eye and go, ooh, Yep, I guess so. That's freedom. You're free to do that. Yikes. I think that's good.
Wow.
I know who people are. They're not wearing a mask all the time. Why is everybody wearing a mask?
Why are they wearing funny glasses? I couldn't figure that out at all.
Well, he gets it complete. First he says that freedom is ugly, right? But then he says it's a good thing. He doesn't want to live in a world where you're free to say, I'm not going to serve your kind. He doesn't like that kind of a world. He doesn't want to, I don't like that kind of a world. But then he immediately says, I think it's a good thing, right?
Because it's not going to happen to Glen Beck.
Because it's not going to happen to him, yeah. See, freedom means the ability to discriminate. Even though it's ugly, it's still a really good idea, right? And he empathetically and emphatically says that even if it's ugly, it's good, and we should stand up for it, right? We're supposed to stand up. Except, he only feels that way about ugly freedom when it comes to gays. He doesn't feel that way about ugly freedom when it comes to, I don't know, burning the flag. Right? Would you say that? Or maybe smoking pot? I'm sure that kind of freedom, it's ugly, and he wants to not have it. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing, is that he's using an ACLU argument.
Yes.
He's using a First Amendment argument to justify discrimination.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be more wrong.
Well,
and by the way, also, this guy's a Mormon. Okay? Let's be clear. Mormons were shunned and told they could not be around civilized human beings. They were shot. They were sent out into the wilderness by this very kind of discrimination. And he's like, no, this is fine.
Yeah,
this is all good.
they're not doing that now to him, so he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
So that happened before he was a Mormon, but now it's going to happen anymore.
And by the way, I don't think Glen Beck realizes I can refuse service to him because he's a fucking lunatic. Get out of my goddamn store, you insane man.
Yeah, what about all those signs that say we reserve the right to refuse service? And don't those still apply? I don't know. I don't understand. Anyway.
No shirt or shoes.
No shoes, no shirt.
Yeah, but that's if you walk in and you smell like a tire fire. That's what that's for. That's not for you walked in and you're wearing like a kind of colorful sweater over your shoulder in a sort of jaunty way.
Yeah.
That's not what that's for.
So here is Glen Beck's lackey, and here's why he thinks it's okay to have this bill that discriminates against gays. Let's go ahead and play that, Gilbert.
Exaggerating the outcome of this bill. They're saying the cake person's not gonna put up all these signs saying no, no this, no this. I don't think you're gonna see any of the signs. This is just a defense so that people can say and have the right to say, hey, that I don't believe in that, and I'd love to help you, but I can't, because that goes against my belief.
Yeah, see,
no, that's never going to happen.
See, people aren't putting up signs.
No.
They're not going to put up signs to discriminate. People are just going to actually discriminate. So then it'll be okay. That's not the thing we're pissed off about, that people might put signs up. That's not the thing. We're worried about the actual discrimination that comes. They're not going to put signs up.
No. The signs is the worst part. I hate the signs. I don't mind being thrown out, but I just want a sign before.
So he reassured us that no one's going to be putting up signs, so we shouldn't worry about this. People are just going to discriminate. So Glen Beck comes back, and he's going to explain to us how rights work in a free society. Ready?
Anybody who says you want to talk about rights, you must stand for the person on both sides that says, I have a right to get a cake from a bakery, not this specific bakery, but a bakery. Bakeries have a right to make cakes for homosexual couples getting married, period. And this particular bakery has a right to say, I'm not going to make it. That's how rights work.
Or not.
That's not how rights work, Glenn. I hate to break it to you. That's not how rights work. That would be the equivalent of saying Rosa Parks has a right to ride on a bus, and Bull Connor has a right to refuse her to get on that bus. So she has to go find another bus where the guy likes her and lets her on. That's
a bus in a different state.
But yes.
Wait.
Like in the north, she could ride on the bus.
Yes, she could go ride on the bus in another state. Why don't she just move? Why don't she just work in another state and also live there?
To be fair, the bakery does have the right to refuse to make a cock and ball cake. They don't have the right to say, I'm not going to make the standard cookie puss cake that we make for everybody. We're not going to give that to the gay couple. They can't do that. But if you come in and you say, I want a really gay, homoerotic kind of Robert Mapplethorpe kind of cake, they can be like, yeah, we can't, no.
But that's just a question of what's in there, what they do. That's not a question of because you're gay, I'm not going to make a cake for you. That's like we don't do erotic, baked goods.
Right.
But this is exactly he's saying that everyone has rights. He's saying the cake maker has a right to not make a cake for you if he doesn't like you, and you have a right to get a cake made. Well, you can't have both those. Either one or the other trumps, right? You can't have both. Either Rosa Parks has the right to ride on the bike, either you have a right to sit at the Woolworth counter and eat lunch, or you don't have the right to sit at the Woolworth counter and eat lunch. You can't have it both ways. You can't have the right to eat lunch at a Woolworth counter and the right for him to deny you. So Glen Beck, again, talking about a mathematical impossibility. I don't know what math has to do with it, but it has something to do with it, I think.
So ultimately, gays have the right to eat cake.
Gays
Let
do
them
have
eat cake is really what's being said here.
Yes. Or whatever else they want to eat, right? Cake, cock, what have you.
Just so we're clear, the moment you enter the community as a merchant, you have given up certain things in order to make a profit. It's a very simple formula.
Right. Yes.
You know, it doesn't. If you are a Christian scientist and you don't believe that people should get medication, then tough. You still have to insure your employees. That's just the way it goes, and we have all agreed that that's reasonable. That's how a community functions.
Hey, I'm a Christian, Robert, and I don't feel comfortable doing business with a single mom. So screw single moms and divorcees too, because I'm against divorce and all. So this is not what America's about. This is not about it's okay to discriminate. They're all trying to make these convoluted cases. And here's let's keep going. Here's Tucker Carlson, and
by the way, still head of his Young Republicans Club.
Yes, he's still the head of his college Republicans. Now, Tucker Carlson, remember, he was the douchebag who used to wear the bow tie, and now he's the douchebag in the regular tie. And
it's not much of an improvement.
But it is a little bit of
when you get right down to it.
He did switch. It's easier to hang him with that, so that's nice. So here is Tucker Carlson was on talking about the Arizona gay bill, and he got everything wrong. So we're going to play it, and we'll stop, and we'll go, here's what he has to say about it.
Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, if you want to have a gay wedding, fine, go ahead. If I don't want to bake you a cake for your gay wedding, that's okay too, or should be. That's called tolerance.
No, that's actually called discrimination. you have it backwards. Tolerance would be if you actually made the cake for them because you didn't agree with their lifestyle. That's tolerance. Not making the cake for them because you don't agree with them is called discrimination. It's okay. You're only on television, and it's an easy word to look up, discrimination or tolerance. But don't worry about it. Tucker Carlson gets it 100% wrong. Okay.
So what is the fascination with bakeries that these Republicans have? They are all about cake.
They really are. They really are all about cake. Here's what he goes on. He's now going to get another word wrong.
But when you try and force me to bake a cake for your gay wedding and threaten me with prison if I don't, that's called fascism.
He's great. Okay. That's not called fascism. I don't even know where to start, Tucker.
Tucker Carlson is called fascism.
Yeah, that's called a bad analogy, right? What'd you say?
Tucker Carlson is fascism.
Yeah, this is not. Fascism would be. I don't know. It's not this. I'll tell you that.
No, because during Mussolini's time, the biggest complaint was all the bakeries that were conscripted into cooking for gay people.
Remember? Yeah, you remember that?
Oh, it's just horrible. It's a human rights disaster.
Yeah.
And all the streets could not get bread. They were so busy.
So if they pass a law that says you can't discriminate against someone to do business in our economy, that's fascism to him. I wonder what he would consider the government and businesses hooking up to create laws that screw the workers and help. I wonder what he would call that. Would he call that tolerance?
He'd call that capitalism.
I think he would call that capitalism.
He would call that good business.
So here, as I'm watching the Fox News and the Tucker Carlson get fascism and tolerance exactly backwards and turn it on its ear. That's tolerant. I still can't get over that. Here comes the host, the pretty blonde girl host of the Fox News segment, and listen to the comparison she makes between gays. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, I gave an example yesterday of, if you go to a restaurant that hates kids, right, and they're not nice to you when you're there, and they're not good about little kids dropping stuff on the floor, you don't go there anymore, right? I mean, that's sort of the way it was. And
yeah, see, because gays are like annoying kids. They really are. They drop shit on the floor all the time, and I'm with you on that. I would like to see no kids, no gays, because they're drop
like
shit.
kids who have sex with each other.
Yeah. Yes.
Bad combination.
Yes, see, just to quit. That's all. It's just like that. It's just like a restaurant that hates kids. The same.
What is she talking about?
She's not.
Is she saying that the business is right to have no kids, or that you're right to refuse to go to that business? What is she saying?
I have no idea what she's saying.
If you know that you're not wanted, you should leave. I think that's what she's saying.
And look, that's fine, but it's not policy.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I don't go and hang out at the Abbey in West Hollywood just because that's a personal choice, but it's not policy. It's not legal policy.
Right,
No,
you
it's
can't.
not legal.
Right, yes, you couldn't legally say. Okay, so let's go on to it never happened because Jan Brewer vetoed it, right? So she finally stood up and vetoed it. And because of all the business people started to put pressure on her because it's going to be horrible for business in Arizona, right? They're not going to have conventions there. But here, so here she is. She came out and she said this.
That I understand that long-held norms about marriage and family are being challenged as never before. Our society is undergoing many dramatic changes. However, I sincerely believe that Senate Bill 1062 has the potential to create more problems than it purports to solve.
Yes, and we were going to lose the fucking Super Bowl.
It's the Super Bowl,
okay?
guys.
It's the Super Bowl.
Wake up.
I'm all for hating the gays, but come on, we got to get the Super Bowl.
It's the Super Bowl. Come on.
She actually talks to the supporters. Now she's going to talk to the people who supported this anti-gay bill, this gay-hating bill, and here's what she says to them.
Religious liberty is a core American and Arizona value.
Yes, but making money is also a core Arizonan value, and so this proves that we love money more than we love our hateful God.
Money wins.
Money wins.
Money always wins.
That's a core value. We have a core value of money. So that's exactly what happened. Yes, that's exactly what happens. The core value is not about God or religion, or even hatred. The core value is money.
God loves football.
God loves football. God loves making money off of football. God loves all that stuff. So that's what that is.
I like the way she mentioned, like, the negatives outweigh the benefits. I was like, there's zero benefits. So, yeah, yes, the negatives outweigh the.
It was a shutout for all the, benefits.
She's speaking to the Arizona has a very small Republican Christian organization that basically runs all of Arizona politics on the right side of things, and that's basically who she's speaking to. It's it's a very small group.
I mean, first of all, it's already okay to discriminate against anybody for any reason in Arizona. You can discriminate against. Like this law was just piling on. They already have that. They already have the anti-immigrant bill. It's like they're getting ready to host the Olympics in Arizona or something.